It's a long way from Las Vegas to China and still a long time until Team USA tips off as the two-time defending World Cup champions. But tonight is an important step as the Americans get a good long look at the roster in competition under the bright lights in Las Vegas. By the time it's all said and done, the U.S. will be expected to be contending for a medal, certainly, if they're playing that gold medal game.
And this select team, they had a scrimmage. Oh, strong move there by Jalen Brunson.
King, one of the few players on this roster who has senior men's national team experience, a gold medal winner back in 2016. Kemba to the rim.
Defense enough to elevate for that finger roll.
Jalen Brunson coming off his rookie season with the Dallas Mavericks after an incredible career for Jay Wright, who was on Greg Popovich's staff. Bagley goes to his right. One of the coaches told me that it was a lot of the more veteran guys who came in needing to get themselves into shape here in Las Vegas. It wasn't so much the select guys.
Yeah, which
leaves it for Jonathan Isaac and can't connect. Tapped out, Brunson has it. He'll try the three for the select team. Bagley crashing the boards again, keeps it alive, and Isaac finishes off the play. Good hustle from team. Hasn't picked up a Celtic check yet.
No.
Hasn't cashed in on some of that money yet, but Mitchell for three from Kemba, and he got it.
That's really good basketball there. Great movement.
Team 11-10. They were just going to divide up the two squads, not randomly, but mix them up and have a blue-white game where they just played each other, and now it's more divided between the national team.
Sport world, that we got to keep our dominance, and that's why I want to stay committed to it.
You have the opportunity now because you are what I hate to call you the older veteran.
Had a coach tell me he thought he was the best guard here this week.
He's been terrific, and he's you love about him is the versatility. He can make open shots as De'Aaron Fox there gets a nice little roll.
He got it to fall, and Torrey Craig comes down with it. For team select, Pat Connaughton now. Crossover and finishes with the right.
But he had some solid moments for the group. They'll be a new look team. They'll have Lopez back, but Malcolm Brogdon become a liability defensively. He's going to have to be able to not be a negative player on that side of the floor.
There's Fox with the steal and the finish. De'Aaron Fox. It'll be interesting to see if they both wind up making the trip not only to China, but first to Australia. They're going to go to LA next week. They're going to have camp there. Exhibition next Friday night on NBA TV is John Collins.
And you know what? Knowing Pop, he'd probably be happy if he shot 42. He wouldn't be greedy.
Jason Tatum shot it.
Going to make him even more difficult to defend.
White off the back rim. Can Fox win the battle? He does. And he'll finish it off. 2-on-1, takes it himself. And Derek White handles it for Team White. And loses it.
Yeah, well, the impact that De'Aaron Fox has had. That's another steal there. He's gotten a loose ball.
Yes, it's a pretty demanding schedule when you think about it. First of all, the week here in Las Vegas. We'll break for a few days, go to Los Angeles, practice 3 days, play against Spain. Guidelines no one truly understood. The little guy had a tough time in the paint. He just couldn't get anywhere. So we speeded up the game. We cleaned up the game. We did away with everything.
Learn or relearn the FIBA game.
You just said it. Physicality is a big thing, but also the use of hands. You cannot use your hands defensively. It's kind of a contradiction because of the physical.
There was a time there where USA basketball was not at the level that we had always been accustomed to, and really good to see it back at that level as Donovan Mitchell.
Which was just hard to understand. And then 2 years later, the 2004 Olympics in Greece, when the U.S. lost to that great Argentina.
The familiarity as well, so that'll be a lot of fun.
All those games, by the way, on NBA TV up until the World Cup. All those exhibition games. Well, it's interesting, and I mentioned that Greg Popovich told us that yesterday. He's having to learn to teach what he considers illegal screens because they're allowed in the FIBA game.
He teaches them anyway.
Well, he's teaching them publicly.
Yeah.
And admitting to it at least.
That is.
Love this version of it. As a smaller guy, at least compared to these guys, I like the ball.
You like it?
It's easier to grip to me.
That sometimes that is the issue.
Anthony Davis is one of his victims. He got Joel Embiid with a dunk in the postseason. There's Tatum for three.
Man,
Knocks
I
down
love this
another
part.
one.
In a lot of ways, I thought he would get more consideration for most improved. Just an incredible year. And I think also, let's give Trae Young some credit for that.
Is a fact. So I can't deny that. You can look that up. But back then, the biggest that we used to go over the rules a lot, and it was where the referee didn't touch the ball. That was a big concern of ours. I think now probably the biggest difference, Greg and Matt, is the physicality. I think they're more physical internationally. And the other thing we have to be careful for and be ready for and prepare for is they're going to show a zone. Just getting together now. So they know each other. They're going to run crisp offense. But if you can get in there and really get into their ball handlers and make it tough, I think that's going to be a staple of their defense. And then offense is really old school ball movement, man movement, kind of like San Antonio plays.
Yeah.
You know, like we mentioned earlier, from good to great.
Right.
Whole performance USA basketball's ever had.
Absolutely.
I mean, no doubt about it. And I still remember growing up as a kid. I'm a little younger than Chris is. Nice pass there, but watching, that's when college basketball really took off.
Remember, it's basically patchwork players from all over the league, and they don't have the same infrastructure in China, in Australia, in terms of policies.
What's the key to establishing communication and trust so early on?
Well, we coordinate with the management staff of the USAB. We know the itinerary for all travel schedules well in advance. And
to emulate what we're doing on the with the national team, which gives you that continuity, not just in terms of medical staff and everything else, but preparation, approach, philosophy, all those things. And I think that's
Torrey Craig, great story. Out of South Carolina upstate, played in Australia for 3 years before he made his way to the Denver Nuggets. Tatum and one, count the bucket for Jason Tatum. In around to answer any questions that Greg Popovich and the staff might have about how to go about this. It's amazing, I read this week that they had never met until 2015 when Pop was named his successor. This team, which traveled around the world, gained an appreciation for international basketball then, and then when he got his first NBA coaching job with the Spurs back in '88, under Larry Brown, he convinced Coach Brown to let him scout a European tournament.
you think of all the major sports, and football is only going to travel once every other week in essence, you know, half the season. Baseball, they're going to travel, but they're going to be where they're going oftentimes 3-4 days. We may be in 3 cities in 4 days, and obviously we typically leave right after, and you can be in 3 different time zones over the course of that as well. Well, it wasn't. There weren't many channels either, unfortunately. But, you know, the Olympics just is kind of like the cornerstone for sport internationally.
In terms of basketball, I think they look at the World Cup maybe a little differently than we do. It's certainly true in soccer, where the World Cup is every bit as big as Olympic Games.
No doubt about it.
Kyle Kuzma giving the fans what they want. They've been schedule announced on NBA TV Monday at 3 Eastern time, by the way. I've been asked to plug. Darren Fox, 88-55 now.
And Team USA, just a different energy and activity level when he's in the game.
Yep. Rebounder, ranked among the top 30 in total rebounds last season. Without playing huge minutes either for Miami. Here's Fox, as fast as they come, goes to the right hand in the finish.
They're going to have a chance to win the West.
Well, and the East with Kawhi Leonard.
East, that's right.
Leaving
Great
the
point.
champs. Somebody asked me a while back about.
They really got after it, defended the 3 well, and then took advantage of it by getting in transition.
Senior men with a big lead here, under 3 minutes to go, which begins with the Czech Republic on September 1st. U.S. is part of Group E, which includes Turkey, Cedi Osman, Furkan Korkmaz.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to win that pool. You know, I'm normally not a gambling man.
Favorite. And then you've got teams like Spain and France, Greece with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Has not had a ton of last few years, but they have the NBA MVP.
I was going to say they haven't had an MVP before either.
Right.
So.
And his brothers, all part of that roster.
Boy, that
Serbia is going to be really good.
Going to be busy in Greece. Putting all those letters on those jerseys.
Spain is, we talked about that group earlier. A bunch of those guys, Rudy Fernandez and Marc Gasol and Yul. A lot of
over. that has become the great equalizer in our game. And so it's going to be a challenge this year. Obviously, as you said, favorites, but there is no guarantee as Middleton able to knock down that triple.
3-point range. They've cooled down a little bit. U.S., the blue team. They're both the U.S. They'll run out the clock. And a good start, good launching point for this senior men's national team. Next stop, Los Angeles, ahead of next week's exhibition against Spain in Anaheim. A week from tonight, then off to Australia for 3 exhibition games, 2 against